Welcome back to Leaders in Customer Loyalty. It's a Thursday, so another edition of the Brand Stories is on tap. It's great having you with us every Thursday. Today we're going to be talking with the Royal Bank of Canada, RBC, a brand who is bringing together banking, customer loyalty, partnerships, and technology to create more connected customer experiences. Through partnerships with organizations like Live Nation, Canada Tire, Petro-Canada, WestJet, RBC is building a broader loyalty ecosystem designed to deliver greater value, strengthening customer trust all along the way. Joining us today is James Lombardi. He's the Senior Director of High Net Worth and Premium Experiences at Royal Bank of Canada. He's going to discuss how RBC is leveraging AI, the connected customer profile, and an open technology strategy to differentiate the customer experience and help shape the future of customer loyalty in Canada. Welcome, James. How are you doing today? Thanks for taking time to join us.
I'm good. Thanks, Mark. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you here. To start off, can you give us a brief overview of the Royal Bank of Canada and kind of the services you provide to Canadians?
Yeah, happy to. So the Royal Bank of Canada, or RBC for short, is Canada's largest bank by market cap. We've got almost a 160-year legacy, which we're very proud of. And we serve over 17 million clients worldwide across Canada, across the US, and 27 other countries. And, we really run the full gambit of everything you would expect within financial services. So think personal banking, commercial banking, to wealth management, insurance, investor services, cap markets, and beyond. And I think we're pretty proud to have both the strongest physical network in the country, if you think about our branch presence coast to coast, at the same time being really anchored on a strong digital first strategy. And we'll talk about that, I'm sure, as we dive into our loyalty program, Avion Rewards, which is where I spend my day to day.
Okay, excellent. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role at the company, kind of what you do on a day-to-day basis? And how did you get in that role? Were you in customer loyalty before? What's your background?
Yeah, for sure. So I didn't come up in banking. I've been with RBC for about 7 years. But I built my career in partnerships, and that's really what I parlayed into the bank. And my first big role in loyalty was in our loyalty partnerships division. So I actually led that part of our business and helped us navigate through, scaling up our portfolio across a bunch of different categories. So think gas, think fuel, think pharma. And today I'm the senior director, as you said, of high net worth and premium experiences. So I still live within our loyalty strategy, but I really focus on a very particular part of our consumer base, thinking about those high valued segments, those premium card holders, which run the gambit from, fee paying credit card holders all the way up to our high net worth and ultra high net worth clients in private banking. So I like to think I get the most fun parts of our portfolio, everything from live music to fine dining to luxury travel. So we're really just thinking through that segment. What kind of needs do they have? What value we can unlock, and what are the capabilities we need to deliver that?
So that's a very interesting segue there. You're talking about needs. Obviously, everyone has their customer segmented into high net worth. They want unique experiences. They want to feel welcome, right? So obviously, you want to get more, kind of hooks into them. You want to get more money, more accounts, more investment. You get that emotional loyalty connection going. And so how are kind of the customers, what are they looking for these days, kind of the high net worth customers, and how might they be changing overall?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, you talk to players in this space every day and you know it well. I think the premium landscape is very competitive, particularly so in Canada. I mean, high net worth is the fastest growing consumer segment in the country. And I think, that's no surprise to everyone who's playing in this space. And I think that's unlocked a wave of upmarket investments across our competitors. That's everything from new partnerships and value propositions to card refreshes and new products and propositions. So there's just a ton of movement in this space. And I feel like the baseline is shifting almost on a daily basis with the news cycle.
Yeah.
And that's also risen expectations with our clients. The baseline is higher, they're expecting more. So how do we respond, and what's our ambition in this space? So I think we've got pretty compelling roadmap in front of us as we think about what we can unlock and how we sort of respond to meet that demand.
Okay. So you talked about that, the younger generation. The goal there obviously is to kind of get them involved, get them engaged, and kind of grow them as they grow. How is the younger generation changing? And we do a state of customer loyalty research paper. We actually did a Gen Z research paper recently as well. And, they want to be treated like they're a high net worth customer potentially, right? They want the unique experiences. They want customization, personalization, which can be challenging, right? If you don't have the data on them and they really haven't reached maybe that level. So how are you engaging the younger generations? What's working, with the success that you've seen?
Yeah, I think it's a few fold. So like first and foremost, I think we think about channels and product design. Like I think you got to meet younger clients where they are, whether that's in mobile apps, whether that's social media, whether that's digital first touch points. I think, that first interaction point likely isn't going to be within one of our branches. So how do we design around that? I think a really good example of that, and probably one of my favorite products within the bank, is an experience that we have called Mido. So it's designed for younger clients, anywhere from 6 years old all the way up to 17. And it really is an entry level banking and credit product designed to sort of learn money management, give parents visibility into kids' spending, all anchored in a digital first experience and a virtual Visa debit card. So it's a really clever experience. I've got young kids myself, so I'm excited for them to get old enough to actually use the product. So it's sort of like building those money smart skills young. But then beyond that, you talked a bit about the data. Like we have such a rich transactional data set, being a proprietary loyalty program connected into a bank. So I think a lot of where we spend our time is understanding relevant value based on how our clients spend and interact in the marketplace today. So we don't just sort of think about that moment of banking. We
Yeah.
think about showing up in those everyday moments. That could be when they're at McDonald's having a meal in QSR. That could be when they're at the mall going to a Sephora, or that could be going to a concert with Live Nation, right? We want value across that whole ecosystem so that we're building like a deeper relationship with our members and clients beyond that just sort of transactional conversation within a bank.
Okay. Your reward program, the Avion Rewards program, kind of an award-winning program. Obviously, you've won awards with our organization and others. You guys do a great deal of award keeping it modern, keeping it current. So tell us a little bit about the program. How did it start? What are you guys doing?
Yeah, for sure. So Avion Rewards, as you said, it's our flagship loyalty program. It's proprietary to RBC, and it's open to millions of Canadians. So think like not just our RBC credit card holders, every single RBC client. So you could have a mortgage product with us, you could have a direct investing product with us. You're still eligible to participate and earn. And then it's also open outside of RBC's walls. It's open to all Canadians. So just like a very broad value proposition for Canadians. What I really love about it is the flexibility too. Like our members earn points and cash on everything from everyday experiences to those more premium propositions. And I've been in this program for a number of years, so I've had a front row seat to that evolution. We sort of started as essentially like a pure credit card points program, earn and burn. And now we have this really robust capability and proposition for all Canadians. So it's not just points, but it's cash and statement credits for members. It's not just travel alone, but everyday value across a really rich portfolio of partners. And then it's sort of powered by these next gen capabilities and I think a really rich digital experience that pulls it all together for our members.
That makes perfect sense. So, open to non-members. I know we've talked about this in the past when we interviewed, the RBC. How did that come out? That's very unique, right? What was the genesis of that, and what do you see for the customers that are non-members? Do they transition to become members at some point? What's the value prop for them to get involved?
Yeah, I think it was really important for us to intentionally design a loyalty program that could be open to all Canadians. And I think the thing that you find in the Canadian landscape is loyalty is so concentrated and overlapping. Like it's not
Yeah.
just a bank proposition, it's not just a retail proposition, because you have, for instance, you have grocery retailers who are also banks, who are also issuing credit cards, who are also issuing loyalty currency. So the overlap is very complex, which means that we need ability to compete across all of those spaces. And I think if we just sort of close things off to within our walls, it's much more difficult to be everywhere we need to be and be competitive in the market. So I think that was really the impetus for us to want to open it up. And I think it's been really powerful for us. Like you think about, I guess it's a couple years ago now, we had our sponsorship with Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour, like exclusive inventory, an opportunity to compete and get to go see Taylor at those events in Toronto and Vancouver. We were able to open that up to all Canadians. And when you think about what that did for us from a loyalty membership acquisition standpoint in bringing new members into the program, let alone engaging the ones that we had, it's just such a rich opportunity. So we've seen an influx of new members. And when we sit down with partners, we're able to have like a really fulsome conversation about how many people we can get you in front of. But then it's also important to us to make sure that we are finding value within those relationships for all tiers. And hopefully creating a bit of a ladder across those tiers that will incent that member to want to move their way up and maybe get an RBC product and come deeper within our walls.
Absolutely. You talked about loyalty being overlapping. It's a unique kind of phrase there. Definitely in Canada, different than many countries, right? Coalition is very important. And coalition is changing in Canada right now pretty rapidly. The Aeroplan, it's kind of made some changes, been sold off, changed, repartnering. You have Scene Plus, right? You have TELUS, they're both members of Loyalty 360. They have partners, and it's like everyone's partnering up. There's some overlapping potentially, but it
Yeah,
seems to be kind of a big push in coalition in Canada, but not only traditional coalition, but it's kind of changed, right? And staying relevant could be a huge opportunity, could be challenging as well.
for sure. And I think we have a unique paradigm when we think about sort of like the strategic partnership landscape. We wouldn't think of Avion Rewards as a coalition. It's more so an ecosystem where different loyalty programs can live side by side. And I think one of the first ways we did this, and I think we were leaders in the market when we did this like 8+ years ago. It's our partnership with Petro Canada and their Petro Points program.
Yeah.
When we sat down with them, we were thinking about, okay, how can we help them acquire more members? How can we help drive share of client spend for them? How can we unlock differentiated values for our members, but do it in an innovative way? So we didn't say, let's stand up a new co-brand. We didn't say all of this has to happen in our currency. We actually think there's room for both currencies, for both
Right.
partners' loyalty programs. So we introduced this concept that's very commonplace now, but it was quite innovative at the time, which is linked loyalty. You can connect your Avion Rewards loyalty profile with your Petro Points loyalty program. And by doing so, every time you spend on an RBC product, you get accelerated value. And that value is now up to 7 cents per liter every time you fill your tank. So we think this is a really compelling proposition. You can connect to other loyalty programs within our loyalty program, and it helps fuel your earn, and it helps fuel growth for our program and our partners program. And we just did something very similar with Canadian Tire last year with their Triangle Rewards loyalty program, where we're now, again, connecting loyalty programs together, unlocking accelerated earn for our members up to 3 times the CT money when you spend on your RBC card. And again, just driving different kinds of propositions in market that I think we're really proud of.
And are these partnerships you have with Petro Canada, they're based on kind of that you being the issuer of that private label card, their co-brand card, correct?
No,
Oh,
this is exactly my point. It's not a co-brand proposition.
okay.
By being of our loyalty program and by being a member of their loyalty program, we can connect those two accounts through an API and put our payment cards at the center of it. So you can actually show up to one of these gas stations or to a Canadian Tire retail store, and you can pull out any RBC card in your wallet. It could be a debit card, it could be a credit card. And because we've linked those profiles, we can unlock accelerated earn on any product. We don't need to try and scale up a whole new co-brand just to get there. And sometimes that makes sense. We've got grocery co-brands, we've got airline co-brands with a great partner like WestJet. But we think we can unlock even more scale when we open it up to everyone, especially when you're thinking about an everyday proposition like fuel, like pharma, like mass retail.
Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. So using the APIs, you're able to connect these different brands in a very unique way, right? Because technology can be kind of the opportunity, but can also be the bane of one existence, right? Getting things to work in a seamless way where you can and look at cross industry and add value, right? So that opening it up to everyone and being able to have and leverage technology that allows you to do that really creates some unique opportunities for the brand, correct?
Yeah, I think for us, like from a design principle and an execution principle, being real time, being in path, and being seamless for the member is so important to us. So again, if we sort of anchor ourselves in that Petro flow or that Canadian Tire flow, it takes a matter of clicks to link your accounts together, online, mobile, or web. If you are not currently a member of those other loyalty programs, you can sign up and register in Path within our flow without even leaving our ecosystem. And again, once you have set that up, all you need to do is walk into that retailer. You don't need to even pull out a loyalty card. You can tap your RBC payment card.
Yeah.
That loyalty membership is embedded in that flow. Tap, earn, walk out the store. Incredibly seamless. So I think as we think about bringing partnerships to market, just making it dead easy for the end member, the end client is so foundational for us.
Absolutely. You talked about value a little while earlier. Value is front and center for brands right now. Value to the program. Does the organization find value in the program, right? Do the customers find value? Do the merchants and retailers find value? We talked about this K-shaped recovery in the United States and Canada. People are going to find different value in what they may be asking. So how are you looking at value? It looks like you're bringing a lot of value, bringing significant value to the program through these partnerships and opportunities. How else do you look at value right now?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, there's so much change going on around us, but I think all of it has still put loyalty sort of at the forefront of the conversation. Like, whether it's economic pressures we see in the market, inflationary pressures, that becomes a very important loyalty conversation because I think as it starts to hit clients and members' pockets, they start to think about savings and value and how can they squeeze a little bit more out of their budget. That's why having, grocery partnerships with partners that we have like Metro and Pattison Food Group become really important. Saving every time you go to the pump, really important. So I think for us, it's showing up in those everyday moments in really relevant ways, in pathways. I think that's incredibly critical to us. But it's different for different segments. And again, last year when I stepped into this new mandate, it was one of the first times that we had actually differentiated within our business what's an everyday client versus a premium client and what capacity should we put behind them to focus on value just for those segments, because as I sit down, a high net worth card holder is going to have very different needs than someone holding a mass product, for instance, right? So I spend my days thinking about luxury concierge and how can we make it very seamless and unlock bespoke value in a very personalized way for that segment. So I think for us, it's sort of like who is the end user? What is their experience going to be? And what's important to them from a value, from a channel perspective, and how do we bring that to life?
Okay, that's interesting. When you look at kind of the travel rewards, very important right now, aspirational. They can be a big selling point for members, right? But how important was it to make the loyalty program more flexible when you made some of these changes recently and offer rewards beyond travel?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, travel's at the heart of our loyalty program. That's where our roots are, and it's going to continue to be at the center. I think that's how many of our members experience value within the program. And it's also a space that we're going to continue to invest in. Like you may have seen just last month, we announced and deployed a total transformation of our travel platform with Hopper, which is a Canadian travel fintech. We think best in market capabilities. They've partnered with the likes of like Cap One and Nubank, just like really cutting edge capabilities. And that's unlocked even more flexibility and value for our members. Everything from predictive pricing capabilities to flexibility on bookings, like cancel for any reason. So we are going to continue to double down in this space, and we have. But to answer your question more specifically, that's just one component of our program. It's not the entire program, right? There's so much here for members when you start to look under the hood and unpack it all. like even on the burn side, everything from, not just gift cards and merchandise, but paying off your credit card with points, topping up your investment account with points. And then, doubly so on the earn side, where we have 2,000 plus partners in our ecosystem driving earn on everyday transactions. And we've talked about some of those, but it's retail, it's QSR, it's fuel, it's food delivery with DoorDash, and beyond. So I think being relevant across the client journey, and speaking to members, whether they're travel minded or otherwise, I think has been a really important design principle in terms of how we've, evolved the program over time.
Okay. You talked about it a little bit earlier, your partnership with Canadian Tire and Petro-Canada. You have the Live Nation Canada partnership. So these partnerships obviously are very important. You have the technology to be very flexible, to add value to the customers and the brands. How do you go about finding the right partner, the best partner? Because it can be very challenging. I mean, you have the technology part figured out to make it a little easier, but making sure the value propositions align, making sure, there's reciprocity. How do you get the partner rewards to work so well for the program?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'll talk about Live Nation in a moment because that's sort of our newest announcement and one that we're really proud of. But it's challenging. Like we talked about the concentration in Canadian loyalty. When you step back and look at the data, right? If you were to think about what is every key industry and sub-industry that our clients are spending in, who are
Yep.
the key partners within those industries, and who might we want to pursue for value and for a relationship? It's a small list. And then when you start to peel out who's already in an exclusive relationship, who's partnered with whom, who's conflicted, the list gets even smaller. So we've had to be really intentional over the years in getting ahead of the conversation and being forward looking and thinking about those partner opportunities before we sort of lose our chance to swing at them. I think that's one. But two, it's been just, grounded in data, grounded in relevance to our members. Like if we can stand up value with someone that is a significant source of our spend with our clients, that's going to drive engagement. That's going to drive relevance because those are brands that they're already engaging with versus, starting from the bottom and trying to really introduce them to a brand new entity that they don't have a relationship with. It can be a
Right.
tall hill to climb. And so, we talked about Live Nation. This is one that's so intuitive for us, right? They are the dominant player in Canada when it comes to live events and ticketing. So it's a no-brainer in terms of, who is the right partner in this category. We've got a deep relationship with them. We already have a banking relationship with Live Nation and a program out in market called RBCX Music, where our clients can get access to concert cash and unlock that next live event that they want to go to. And we also saw, as I saw through Taylor Swift and the Eras Tour sponsorship, like this is a proposition that resonates so strongly with our members. And as we look to move beyond travel, experiences and entertainment is something for us that just jumps right off the page. So as we thought about what could we do with them from a loyalty perspective, and again, like going back to what I said about being in path, I think the solution became really obvious for us. We don't want, when you're buying tickets with Ticketmaster, it doesn't happen within our loyalty app. It happens at Ticketmaster, and that's where the value needs to be. So we partnered with Ticketmaster on a pay with points capability where you can connect your Avion Rewards account to your Ticketmaster profile so that when you go to check out, your Avion points are there on the checkout page seamlessly as another payment tender, as another currency where you can either offset part of the transaction, all of the transaction, up to $500. And you don't need to do anything more than just connecting upfront. So we make it really easy, really seamless. And again, helping our members get to that next live event a little bit faster, a little bit more cost effective, and using your Avion points to make that happen. So we're really proud of that relationship.
That's awesome. It's great to hear. When you look at customer loyalty, it's one of the great things we could do is speak to people like you on a daily basis about different facets of customer loyalty. But at the heart of it is customer loyalty, right? What does
Mhm.
customer loyalty mean to you and to RBC?
It's interesting. We sit at a unique vantage because we have both a banking relationship and a loyalty relationship with members. And I think if you were to really boil it down, it's about deepening that overall relationship for us. We need to build trust over time. And for us, as I said earlier, that's so much more than just like a transactional exchange or even
Right.
a points exchange on the loyalty. We need to make clients feel understood by us and valued at every single touch point. And for us, one of the most effective ways to do that is by putting power into their pockets in a way that reinforces the value of the relationship we have together, both on the banking and the loyalty side, while also sort of growing that strategic moat around our program and around the bank at the same time. So I think if we were to boil it down, it's just about helping them feel understood in a way that furthers that relationship.
Okay. New technologies out there. Obviously, AI is the one that everyone's talking about. We've seen even in the state of customer loyalty research paper we do kind of a rapid transformation, especially over the last couple 3 months. How are you looking at new technologies to enhance customer experience, customer loyalty, and potentially how can AI play in that role?
Yeah, it's amazing how dynamic this space is. I think it's literally changing by the day every time we open up our news feed. You know, AI is certainly at the heart of our strategy. I think honestly, RBC has been ahead of the curve, I would say. We have our own proprietary AI lab, Borealis AI, that we've had since 2016. And I mean, if you sort of put that in context, that's 6 years before the introduction of ChatGPT to the market. We had our own AI lab thinking about how we could harness this technology to propel growth, to unlock value and insights and products for clients. So we've sort of long been on this journey, and it's something that's already infused into our loyalty program. Like we've used AI, for instance, as a personalization engine to help deepen and predict behavior and redemption behavior, so that what we're putting in front of you is actually the offer and value that's right for you, not just the one that we want to push. And we've seen that produce tremendous incremental results in terms of the level of engagement and the level of redemption behavior. So it's a journey that we're on, and we're excited to keep going through it. And I think it also reinforces where we're going, which for us, we've been really declarative about getting not just to personalization, but almost to hyper personalization as a bank and as a loyalty program. And I think data and AI are going to be foundational to making that happen. So
Right.
we're really, really laser focused on that, and excited to see how that unfolds over the coming months and years.
Excellent. Well, I'll ask a question. What can Loyalty 360 do to help you and your team in your customer loyalty journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're so proud of this relationship, and we're going to keep coming back to the conference. We're happy to continue to engage because I think for us, we continue to learn. We continue to understand, benchmarking data from our peers, best practices from loyalty leaders across other industries. And it also helps us foster connections. Again, I talked about this unique dynamic where Avion, I think, coexists as an ecosystem with other loyalty programs who are also our partners. So as we go down to participate with Loyalty 360, our partners are there too. WestJet is there talking about their loyalty program. Petro's there talking about Petro Points. So it's just a great opportunity for us to share, to have dialogue, grow new connections, and help amplify the story of what RBC and Avion Rewards is doing in the market.
Well, excellent. Well, thank you very much, James, for talking with us today. It was great getting caught up on RBC and Avion Rewards, some of the unique things you're doing, especially the partnership and how you just facilitate some seamlessness in the experiences for your customers. So that was great to hear, and adding significant value as well. And so it's great talking to you, and always great catching up.
Thank you, Mark. Happy to come back anytime.
Also, want to thank everyone else for taking the time to listen. Make sure you join us back every Thursday for a new episode of our Leaders in Customer Loyalty podcast, the Brand Stories Edition. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on YouTube and our other social media channels. Details are listed in the comments section below. Until next week, have a wonderful day.